Welcome to Ask Jay. I'm Jay Adelson. Happy to be here. I am here to answer all the questions that no one answered for me when I was starting my business, and I hopefully can help you not experience the pain I went through. So let's get started. I'm Jay Adelson, and I'm the founder and chairman of Revision 3. I've built a number of companies. I've been hired as a CEO, and I've even been fired as one. For example, Equinix is a company I took public in 2000 and now has a market cap of over $4 billion. In 2008, I was incredibly honored to have been selected as one of Time Magazine's most influential people in the world. My goal is to pass on some of this knowledge to you, the budding entrepreneurs, and hopefully leave you with some words of wisdom. This episode of Ask Jay is brought to you by Netflix. Today's question comes from Sandeep from Fremont, California, who asked, how much should I give away to a VC? Well, that's a good question. As little as possible? I don't know. It is hard, particularly at the beginning, whether it's an angel or VC, to figure out what is an appropriate number. But let me tell you just some general guidelines to use when starting a company at the beginning. I have found that for angel investments, and angel investments again are anywhere from $10,000 to $250,000, that angels aren't expecting a lot. They're expecting between 5 and 15% depending on the investment, and also depending on how far along you are with your idea. Obviously, if you've got a prototype out the door already, asking for 15% for a tiny amount of money is kind of dumb. So you gotta work that out, make a choice, figure out whether or not your company's at that point, and give away as little as possible. Now, a venture capitalist, like in a Series A, when you're taking millions of dollars, you're typically going to try and target around 30% of your company. That's the magic number. I've seen in competitive situations where there's a lot of heat around your idea and competition between investors where maybe you can get that as low as 20%, but giving it away, you really need to think about never going over that 30% mark. Now here's the exceptions to that rule, and I'll tell you a personal experience I had. When I was raising money for Equinix, I know that in a 6-month period, I was able to reduce the amount the venture capitalists would take from like 70% of the company, because it was just a business plan, to more like 40% of the company by hiring a team, getting a team on board, maybe even raising some angel money, which I did at the time, $10,000, $20,000, getting some names behind the business, some customer letters of intent. And then I went back to the same VC, and he's like, well, I can no longer claim that this is not a viable business or there's more risk. You de-risk the business. So at this point, it's worth a lot more. And I actually brought it way, way, way down. That was helpful. Another tip and trick I'll give you in a second, but first I want to thank our sponsor. Netflix streams TV shows and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix Unlimited member, you can instantly watch TV episodes and movies streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV with your Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii. Watch as many movies as you want, anytime you want. Cancel anytime. Get your free trial membership. Go to www.netflix.com/AskJ and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so they know we sent you. Today's homework assignment, in order to make sure that you give away as little of your company as possible, is talk to other entrepreneurs who have raised money at the same stage you have and figure out how much they've given. One really easy way to do this is actually talk to the investor and say, hey, I'm interested in taking your money here, but I need some references. Because after all, this is like a marriage. We're going to be working together for a long time. Can you give me the names of some other entrepreneurs you've invested in? So the investor typically gives you these names, and one of the first questions I ever ask these guys is, okay, when you raise this round with them, how much did you give away? And it's a great way to make sure you don't accidentally screw yourself in this process. The other thing that I recommend that you do, and write this down on a piece of paper because going through that process is very helpful, define the things that bring your company value at your current stage of the business. If you're before a prototype, the business plan itself doesn't have a lot of value. But who are the team members that de-risk your business? Have you hired them already? Do you have letters of intent of people who will join your company once you raise the money, for example, on a piece of paper? What are the assets you bring? Is there code that has already been written? Is there a domain name? Domain names have value. Do you already have that? Figure out, list them down, so that when you're sitting across the table from a venture capitalist who's trying to take more of your company for the same amount of money, you say, hey, here are the things that I already bring to the table, so this is the value I already have, and so therefore, I should be able to get the same amount of money for less given away. All right, we're all done. Please keep your questions coming to AskJay@revision3.com. I love these questions. I love the weird attachments. Just, again, please, nothing that's going to scare my mother. And we'll just keep it at that. Remember, find that screw that's loose and loosen a little bit more, and I'll see you later.